I want to thank you people for tuning in once again for this next episode where we're going to discuss a few of these documents. So we go about maybe four documents. The first thing I want to say is for those who grew up without both parents in the house. I know what it's like firsthand, and I want you guys to understand that even though that individual may be a POS, there is a lineage, there's a bloodline, and there's things you can learn from knowing where you come from instead of just shutting that whole thing off. Like myself, I'm high risk, predisposed to, prostate cancer. My grandfather, my mom's father, he had prostate cancer, which he passed from. And also my father had prostate cancer as well, which he beat, but that makes me high risk. Knowing those two factors, I have done the PSA with basically where they draw blood. So that's as far as I've done with it so far. I've got two of those and I'm on 46, and I'm gonna continue to do that like every year. So like back in the 80s and 90s, there was this commercial a lot of people that's my age remember is you can learn a lot from a dummy. Just buckle your safety belt, right? So there's a lot you can learn no matter what. So with that being said, I want to start today's episode off with a quick little story about my old man. So this is my sophomore year in high school. I played just JV, but this was basketball. So it was Aliquippa versus Blackhawks in Chippewa, Pennsylvania. We wound up going undefeated my sophomore year, but we won our game. So Ty Law, who wound up playing for the Patriots, played basketball as well. So he was the point guard. We're we were Blackhawk, like I said. And Blackhawk, if I'm not mistaken, they were up for the most threes made in a season, like nationally ranked in a season by a team. And I'm not sure if they broke it, came close, or what have you. I just know they were up for it. So I don't know what happened after that. But they had a player by the name of Dante Calabria. Dante Calabria played at the University of North Carolina during the years of Rasheed Wallace and Jerry Stackhouse playing there. Um, Needless to say, Blackhawk won that game, unfortunately. More than likely, was coaching during that time. We so we'll leave it as that. I had my own axe to grind against our head coach at that time. So during the during the game, we were all sitting in the stands, and Blackhawk is predominantly white, right? So during the game, this white man comes up. It's like, which one is Bernard Humbles? Everybody pointed to me. So he came over. He's like, "Yeah, I got bought a program, and I saw your name. Are you in relation to Bernard Humbles?" And he kind of said like where the guy lived at. I was like, "Yeah, that's my dad." He was like, "Oh man, that guy, he's the funniest guy I ever met, man. He was killing me, man. He's hilarious." And the few of the guys that was like sitting around on that end was like, "Yep, that's him." And at that time, no one on the team knew that I didn't have a relationship with my father. But I also thought it was interesting that I'm kind of like the, team jokester, class clown, always making people, laugh and joke, so sometimes some things are passed down, like whether you want it or not. There's some aspects, there's good and bad you're gonna get from your mom, and there's good and bad you're gonna get from your dad. That's just life. Some of the stuff you don't won't know until later on in life when it shows its face. So with that being said, let's move over to some of these documents. All right. So first off, I want to start off with my old man's birth certificate. So during this time when he was born, I did a little research, looked it up. The stock market had just crashed. It was October 29th, October 26th, no, no, October 29th, 1929. which was what called Black Tuesday. And then, you had the Great Depression during the 30s. Who Herbert Hoover was the president during that time. Things was just like a little chaotic, to say the least. They had some disasters, which they called like the Black Blizzards. They had a ton of like sandstorms during that time, like especially like in the Midwest. It was kind of crazy, right? So my old man, he was born January 26th, 1930. So he was born in Pittsburgh. So my grandfather, which was his father, would have been William Wade, who was 39 at the time, right? So William Wade was from Stapleton, Virginia. My father's mother, which is my grandmother, would have been Nettie Humbles. She was 30 years old at the time, and her birthplace was Charleston, West Virginia. So my dad was born as Bernard Wade. That was his last name, Bernard Wade. Don't forget that. All right. So the next document I want to discuss real quick is my father's marriage certificate. So my father was married 1950, January 1953. So they got married in Maryland, where I currently live today, which is I thought was interesting. So they were married in Cumberland, Maryland, which isn't really far from here, right? So that was their first wedding. So they got married twice. And there's I don't know the exact reason, but my thinking is this next little piece I'm about to give you guys. So July 27, 1970, my dad changed his name from Bernard Wade to Bernard Humbles, July 27th. So July 27th is actually my birthday. So I was born 6 years after he officially changed his name. So he changed his name, his wife's name, and his five kids. So they all went from Wade to Humbles. So like I said, he was married twice. And the second wedding was maybe like a week later, August 5th, 1970. So more than likely, I guess the laws back then, if you did a name change, it maybe made that marriage null and void, or just to maybe circumvent any problems, they went ahead and got married again. And what's interesting, they got married in Alexandria, Virginia, which was maybe like 20 minutes down the road from, again, where I stay, which is in the vicinity. So I'm kind of living in this area where he did a lot of things at. So, like I said, once again, in Alexandria, Virginia, August 5th, 1970, he went ahead and they went in and got remarried. So when he would come around, he would tell me, but like I said, he would be on these rants, and I would just be like, oh, okay, just whatever. When he would say, yeah, Humbles is your real last name, and I'd just be like, okay. So after, going through some of these documents and starting to read, and then coming to find out, like, he was, he was being honest. So with that being said, I'm gonna end with that, and then we'll continue to go some more of these documents. Hey, like and subscribe and continue to tune in. Thank you.